Okay. Let's see what it does. Let's see if YouTube will glue both of them together. I don't know about that, though.
We'll find
Either that
out.
or, listen, if they don't glue it together,
Go see part 1.
go see part 1.
Come back.
We'll be polite enough to start the show all over again. This is the brand new. You
Sorry.
should do a podcast, Canner Show. Please see. Okay.
Yeah. All that.
Yep. Go back to watch episode 1. This is episode 2.
Imagine that it had the 80s ending that said to be continued. ...
It was like we didn't know
And we are
if
the ...
Winnie Cooper was going to go to the dance with him or not.
We didn't know. What would you do?
Just what would you do, baby? So this is part 2 of the special to be continued episode of the Canner Show / You Should Do a Podcast with Nikki Servant. We were having a great conversation. I'm sure if you guys were watching on part 1, Javier came out Jimmy Superfly Snuka style off of the couch, tried to tackle Nikki off of the chair, unplugged the computer. Did you guys see any of that? Luckily, I got Javi tied up. He's in Ray Ray's room. I got him in the closet back there. We're going to continue this show like true professionals. He started a small fire over here to the right. We got that put out. Hey, thank you.
I lit this fire for you.
Thank you very much.
Super glue, my friend.
That is fantastical. So, on part one of the show, I'm not going to pop my peas. I'm going to be a true professional. Nikki's here. She's a broadcast professional. I'm not going to pop my peas or sneeze and or fart into the mic. You guys notice I didn't fart at all this show because there's a woman in the house.
Probably not a problem. It's fine.
Okay. And we were going to be friends. We were having an actual conversation about the positive, listen, using cannabis over alcohol.
Right.
Simply put.
Yeah.
And you made a comment that most of your
Aside
friends.
from the coughing, alcohol makes me cough way less. That's the truth.
I just went to like that.
That's the truth. Alcohol makes me cough less. But besides that, I have no benefits. I can't stand it. So, as a bar person that's worked in the bar for so long, you see all these different kinds of drunks. There's like it's like the wheel of behavior. So, I always like to compare toddlers to drunks. It's my favorite thing because they're the same. They can't control the volume of their voice. They scream and want it their way.
Yeah, that means it's me.
They can't eat without spilling it on themselves. They can't go to the bathroom without managing to secure their clothing back up. If they sit in the back seat or in the front seat, they often will vomit on themselves.
My favorite is the girl who tucks her skirt into her underwear when she comes out of the
as
bathroom.
toddlers do.
Come on, you guys, let's go. We're gonna go to Taco Loco.
Or they fall asleep mid-sentence.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was, let's go. I'm ready. Let's party. Like, no, you're not. Go sit down.
I like the girl who walks by me as she's leaving the bar and just goes, "You didn't even know me. You didn't even know me." And I'm like, I didn't even fucking ask about you, but you didn't even know
And
me.
then they say jealous.
Yeah.
Jealous. Jealous.
They hate us because they ain't us. They hate us because they ain't
Just
us.
hate us because they ain't us.
Hate us because they ain't us.
So yeah,
I like
so
that girl.
you're talking about alcohol versus
Yes.
cannabis, and like as a wedding DJ, that's the craziest stuff for me. Like I've never seen an uncle
that's good
get
people
stoned and slow dance with his niece, but I have seen an uncle get drunk at a wedding and slow dance weird with his niece. I have seen more people do really inappropriate things on cannabis. Like there's a handful of things you do. One of them's like stare.
Gotta get the hell off
Like you
her,
stare
Uncle
at
Joe.
people. You maybe eat an inappropriate amount of like more than your portion of food wherever you're at. Like, but there's not a lot of. You're not gonna often start a fight. It's not, intrinsically kind of the behavior of a cannabis enthusiast. So you're not really gonna start a fight. But again, back to the toddler drunks, right? So we're talking about they can't control their balance. They can't walk. They get their feelings hurt super easy. Like they said that mean to me, or like they took that's mine, or just what they won't let me drink anymore. Like whatever it is, it's an instant toddler.
Yep.
Instant toddler behavior. And so all of these things with alcohol, it just feels like it makes your brain more remedial. It doesn't and for me, cannabis always kind of elevated my thinking. Always made me like want to hang out with people and share ideas. Like I know some people probably get a little Spicoli on cannabis. They feel a little Tommy Chong. My brain kind of lights up.
It
when I
depends
consume
on what I'm
cannabis.
smoking. Again, what am I smoking? That's it. It's all depend. I mean, I can. If I smoke some Mag Landrace or something, I'm not leaving the fucking house. I will come home and smoke a joint of Mag Landrace and forget everything I was supposed to do. And it's 4:30. I'm like, well, I mean, I'll watch some Different Strokes reruns for 3 hours, I guess. You know what I mean? I forgot I was supposed to. But then I'll smoke
I like
some
Arrested Development.
Arrested Development, some Seinfeld episodes. But then
The
if I
Office.
smoke some G6 or something, Brownie Scout too. I know Brownie Scout's more of a indica, but I smoke Brownie Scout or any G6. I'll go for a jog and paint someone's fucking fence.
Yeah, see, for me, I'm an anxious person. Like that's my PTSD, anxiety kind of jam.
Yeah.
So jet fuel for me, I don't know how it is for everybody else, but for me, it's like the worst.
Oh, I get restless legs.
Like I can get edgy, like in a bad mood when I'm not consuming cannabis or whatever, and I feel like G6 like tunes me the opposite direction that I want to be. Like it makes me edgier.
Yes,
and
I will yell at someone if I hit a sativa pen.
yeah, like and so I don't. Again, that's not my vibe. I want to be like
Yeah.
I live in that level if I'm not elevated at all.
Yeah.
And I don't like that side of me. I like this side of me that's like the thoughts come a little slower and I can have a conversation and I don't get my feelings hurt so easily.
You know what's great about in 2019 that we're this close to being legal in Chicago. More and more people that I talk to on a regular basis will literally ask me and we'll ask each other, you didn't medicate yet today or what? Like more people are more open about it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
It's a way. Look, if there's someone in your life that you're arguing with or something you guys can't find common ground about, or you're having a dispute, or someone in your family you've had a grudge with for a long time, pull them aside at Red Lobster and smoke a joint with them and fix your life, would ya?
Don't do it at Red Lobster. Don't do it at Red Lobster. What are you
Most of the
talking about?
time, when you don't see a family member for a long time, it's at neutral ground like Red Lobster. They're not going
It
somewhere
should
good.
be, you know where it's going to be. It's going to be behind like Uncle Bob's shed, like at the family party.
You want to go to Olive Garden?
You're at Billy's graduation party.
Yes, yeah.
You haven't seen somebody in a while.
I didn't think you were going to be here today.
Yeah. Oh, maybe you had a political falling out because that's what's happening with everybody now. And a little love and a little cannabis goes a long way to like, listen, we just have different strategies on how to get to happiness and
See what I'm
success. And sorry, dude, I love you. That's where it has to get. And
Legalization in Illinois can fix this guy getting elected. People will have a much easier conversation if you guys can just light a joint and then discuss.
real talk, like mental health professionals say that there is a significant spike since 2016 in the need for like mental health care, mental health services. So
I believe
there's
it.
a real thing where people are struggling with anxiety, depression, whatever it is. So even if you're on this side or you're on this side,
Yes.
just the climate is so elevated that it's hard not to feel some form of agitation. Like it's hard to be on social media and not have it in some way in front of you.
I
It's
will
hard
say
to,
though, if more people, people might not like this, but if more people who voted for Trump lit up like right now, they would all just go, wait a second, The Apprentice fucking guy? Wait a second, let's back up a couple of years, you guys. The guy who was on Howard Stern?
it does feel like a little bit of Oz, doesn't
Like-
it? Like the man behind the curtain. Like it does feel like
How
half
come
of
they
the
haven't said
country
that to each other
like
yet?
well, no, like 2/3 of the country have like
Whatever's
2/3 of the
whatever.
country have seen, and then they're like still like that's cool, that's my guy. Like you're what you get. Like we got the president we deserved. Like that's the deal. That's the electorate. You get what you get
But
because
look, I'm a realist. I like to think that I'm a realist. I just have a hard time having an actual conversation with somebody who is. I don't know if it's almost like watching a television show and suspending disbelief, but what it is that they're so blind to it. And I'm not going to make this a political show, and we shouldn't. But I'd say again, just smoke a joint, and then you guys can have this conversation.
no,
a
it's
lot
just more
easier.
cultural. That's what
Yes,
I'm
yes,
talking
yes,
about
yes,
more
yes.
now. just the climate.
Yeah,
Just the
yeah.
climate of like Walmart, the climate of everything. So like there's just it's everywhere. So like people are wearing their Bernie shirts and their MAGA hats and like it's just so in your face. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how much that happened
What
with
happened to not
Reagan.
talking about it?
Like I don't remember like a lot of like Bill Clinton or W. Bush. I don't remember a lot of like swag out then.
No.
You know, I don't even remember like having about Obama stuff. I remember like a handful of my friends having Bernie shirts.
Yeah.
And then
I've got a lot of Bernie support.
yeah, right. And then I think just MAGA hats. Like that's the campaign swag of the season. And so people see it and it's then people get a little salty because they get negative or positive reactions out with that stuff on. I don't know, man. It's a tough thing to live in this culture right now, and cannabis has a beautiful way of kind of de-escalating human emotions sometimes with the right blend. Again, I'd like to point out G6 is not a successful de-escalator in my universe. So I don't know how everybody is. I'm very jealous of people that are like, I love G6 because it makes me just get a little get up and go on my step and and I'm like, I would love more get up and go on my step, and it just makes me get up and go across the room and want to choke somebody. It's the wrong kind of get up and go.
This is my background music that I wanted to play. I was watching this on the monitor the other day, and I just started staring at it and forgot I was doing a podcast.
All right.
Yeah, so anyway, yeah, I can't, too many sativas. I started smoking sativas early on, and when I got my card, because, look, sorry, let me turn it down a little bit. When you get your card, when you first get your card, it's fun to experiment or go in there and try the different things, because, you know.
I spent so much money when I first got my card.
Right,
like, I tried, I gotta try everything in the store.
What do you mean I can spin the wheel?
And then I got some stuff that I tried, hated, and it's still like in a drawer somewhere that I never even used.
Yeah, so I experimented with a bunch of different sativas though, and again, realizing that, because when you're buying street cannabis from your buddy for the last 15 years, he never comes over and he's like, dude, this is a really good indica. He's just like, here you go, you owe me $90. Like, he never tells you what it is. This is rated at this or whatever. So again, going in there and messing around with the different ones. When I first experienced that anxiety from a strong sativa, I had restless leg. I was sitting in my living room and my leg was just twitching, and I'm like, all right, I gotta go for a walk or something. And so I'm finding out that Magland Race is probably one of my favorite strains.
Well, and do you find this? Because for me, I find, like, now knowing the plethora of strains available and all of the things, like what people we knew used to get from the street is like, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Like, you just get it.
Yep.
And if it makes you feel like this, that's good luck. And if it makes you feel like this, good luck. And you burn through what you can afford, and then you have to buy more. Like, most people didn't like hoard and go, oh, it makes me feel like this, I'm gonna save this and get some more. It was like, I don't have the budget, I have to use this for now, and like, I'm gonna be up all night for the next week and a half, or I'm gonna be asleep at work for all the day.
Yeah, I remember going back, like, buying strains and be like, I don't even know if I'm high right now. But you're just angry high?
Yes. Like, a little. Here's my favorite, though. I have to say, of the strains right now, the Cresco Outer Space labeled a sativa. I really struggle with most sativas. I really do. That, I don't know how it qualifies as a sativa. Like, it does in some, in these clinical sense, but it makes me, it's outer space. It's properly labeled. It makes me feel like I'm in a cloud. And
the 1-to-1s do that to me. Holy shit.
Oh, nice.
I love doing the 1-to-1s.
I like those.
That's like,
I like
if
the edible 1-to-1s.
If I don't feel like talking to anybody all day, I'll take a 1-to-1, do some grocery shopping, buy myself some slippers. I normally end up buying weird stuff if I go to Target really cooked. If I got a robe in there. If
I walk in clear-headed, I still walk out with too much. There's like I don't know what it is in there. It's that stuff at the door. It's the front and the back, and then in the middle is the problem. Essentially, at the beginning and the end and the whole middle of the shopping experience is like a kid in a candy store. I need this. I didn't.
Snow tires.
Right, you need a fedora.
Pierogies.
You're gonna need a fedora. You're gonna need.
Grab those
a steering wheel cover.
Snow tires.
Snow tires.
A fedora. Box of pierogies. Duct tape.
Gallon of milk.
Awesome.
An ace bandage.
Bath mat. Sweet.
You could probably pick up a prescription.
I love it. All right, now I'm going to play and see. Again, thank you guys for watching. You should do a podcast / let's back it up. Take 2. You should do a podcast / The Canner Show here on Friday night. It's the first and only live cannabis community comedy podcast and music show. I'm not really sure if part 1 and part 2 got super glued together. Hopefully Mr. YouTube's is going to work late tonight and edit show 1 and show 2 together. If they didn't, you guys will have to just figure out that show 56 is, 2 shows with me and Nikki talking about cannabis and smoking, taking our medication, and listening to some music. So again, the next song is Brittany Howard, Stay High. I'm going to play that song. Nikki came over and suggested some good music. A couple of people talked to me this week and like, can you play, who was it that messaged me and said, oh, Melissa. Hi. Melissa messaged me and said, hey, Ray, I actually listen to most of your podcasts in the car, so could you play something a little more like happy or a little more upbeat? So maybe, because I imagine that most of my downer songs, as she's listening through the middle of the day, she's like, man, this really put me in a bad headspace, Ray. So again, this is for some people watching their show, and it's not.
It's chill. It's a chill vibe. It's a new song, and it's
liked it.
Brittany Howard is the lead singer of the Alabama Shakes.
Right on.
So if you know that band, so she's busted out in her own solo jam, and this is like the big breakout single, and it's my soul right now.
Let's jam it. I should put on a summer dress right now, right? Maybe a little flowery number.
You should definitely light up that joint.
Okay, yeah, let's do that too.
That you come from, yeah. I just want to stay high with you. 'Cause where I come from, everybody frowns and walks around with that ugly thing on their face. Just fine, thank you. Thank you. Everything is beautiful. How did you get like that? See, all I do is keep it cool and don't worry about what everyone is doing. I already feel like doing it again.
We are back, you guys, on The Canna Show. Or you should do a podcast. Or you should do a Canna Show. You should do a Canna Show podcast with Nikki Serbin. So, I mean, there's so many options here. We were struggling with title names or descriptions today. Listen, it's just The Canna Show. You should do a podcast. Me, Raymond Vernon Barton the Third. It's a very official name. Most people with the names Bibbidi Bobbidi Bacon the Third end up driving a school bus off of a bridge somewhere, but this guy's doing a podcast. People with three names often give people with three names a bad name. People with three names give people with three names a bad name. Would that be the fourth name? That guy's really going to be famous. I'm on to something. Raymond Vernon Parton III, Esquire.
Why not? It's got a nice ring to it.
You guys, thank you for sticking around and hanging out with me tonight. I have an awesome guest. I was super excited to have her. I'm sure you guys are, if you're not enjoying this, well, you're not into podcasting and entertainment conversations. Go to the description, learn who she is. Again, and thank you for watching. Go subscribe and click that little bell. Go add Miss Cannabis on Instagram, no S on the end, a 5 on the end, and go add at the Canner Show on Instagram as well. You guys, while you're doing that, again, subscribe to the channel. If you go to, I'm not going to say the wwws because I'm not my dad. My dad would go, get on the Google and do www.
Get on the intranets. Get on the World Wide Web, son,
Yes.
and help us out.
So if you do that and you go on the internets or the Googles, you can just go to youshoulddoapodcast.com and it'll direct you right to me. Then you can click the bell, subscribe, and we'll have, listen, what this is, like we were talking about earlier, I've just created a street for all of us in cannabis to walk up and down and meet each other and talk and wave and, again, wear your shirts so everybody can give each other a visual high five and we know who's who in the city. So, again, thank you for subscribing to the channel and being a part of it. Again, Nikki, Miss Cannabis. So you have your own company, right?
I do.
Or you're starting your own company.
I'm an independent contractor, so I'm a consultant. I'm a cannabis consultant. So multifaceted. Sorry about that, but multifaceted, able to do a bunch of things. Got a crazy vast background. So what I'm doing right now is helping people. So you've got people at the dispensary that want to learn how to do a dab. They have no idea how to do it. And the lovely people, the bud tenders at the dispensary, can't jump across the table and show them how to do it. So it is incumbent on a handful of people to go in and help, Mrs. Jones, who's older, who wants to maybe use a nectar collector or, just some little things, some new things, alternatives. Just setting up their Yocan, just little odds and ends, things like that people feel intimidated by. Maybe YouTube's not their jam, teaching them how to do all kinds of different things. And that's where I paired with Mary Jane's Creations, which does in-home cooking classes. So we're helping patients that, maybe have pulmonary issues where inhalation is not a good medicating option. So we're teaching them how to use turn a gram of cannabis into edible product in less than 2 hours. So it's kind of amazing to see kind of the turnaround and what we're able to do for people and in many different ways, so much more than that. And that's, so Mary Jane's Creations has been pretty great what we're doing there. And then looped in also with Krzyzewski's. And Krzyzewski's is amazing. So if you're looking for like incredibly savory, delicious, like elevated foods, elevated chef, if you're a patient looking for elevated products, you cannot beat the Jardinera, or Jardinera, how do you say it?
I think I've eaten it every day.
I'm not Italian.
I actually contemplated putting it in oatmeal yesterday. I was going to eat it in every meal that I had.
I saw you had the hot sauce in your fridge too.
I threw it on spaghetti. I threw it on pizza. I threw it on a beef sandwich already.
And how is it? You're an Italian guy. What do you think?
Listen, it is delicious. One of my friends was asking me what the ratio is in there, what's in there. Then he came over and ate it. He was sold. I've been putting it on everything, no joke. And the hot sauce is fantastic too. The brownies were fantastic. The Rice Krispie treats. I'm using chapstick every day. Chapstick.
Oh yeah, she's got chapstick too. She's got that lip balm. She's got lotions. She's got like low potency, high potency. So like you need, your grandma needs it, but she's scared and she doesn't want to be wigging out. Like she doesn't want too much. So you get her a little lotion from Krzyzewski, hook you up.
That's a great way to introduce her to the products too. Something like a lotion or a chapstick, or even give your grandma a Rice Krispie treat.
What I tell you about the oil? Remember what I told you about the oil? Like cannabis oils?
Yes.
So if you put it in your navel?
Wait, we got to back up. So, so she gave me some of the chapstick, and it was great. I went to use it, but then being the stoner that I was, I didn't line the top up straight, so I mushed the chapstick, and I got a little on my finger, and then like a jerk, I was going to flick it off, but she was like, no, You gotta rub it in your belly button.
It sounds so insane, and I completely concede that it sounds insane when you say it. But there is scientific evidence that when you put the oil into your navel, it works faster. So, because it's like your umbilical nerves or whatever. So,
I totally did it.
did it work?
It did work. It soaked right in. I felt fantastic.
See.
I don't know if you guys could tell. It was only about another 20 minutes after that. I was like, all right, well, I think I got to cut out of here pretty soon.
So
It was
Krzyzewski's
so
got
good.
this lip balm that you can literally think about. Wrap your brain around this. Think about a festival season. She's got a lip balm that you can carry in your pocket and put in your navel in the middle of the festival
Now
and enjoy the festival.
that's a party that I want
Like
to be at.
forget smuggling joints and stuff in. Forget any of that. Even forget a vape pen if they got some battery detector or some nonsense. Like forget like
Dude, if I'm at a party,
you're not gonna get in
everybody's
trouble
like,
with chapstick.
"What you guys doing?"
Nobody's gonna get herpes passing
Everybody's
around.
rubbing their belly button. This is a great party.
Nobody gets cold sores
Turn-
passing belly button to belly button.
Turn it up. You guys hang on. It's where we all put it in our belly buttons, right here when he drops the beat. Ready, go. Here it comes. Get your chapstick out.
You joke, that's how they rock it in the retirement home.
I get it. Chapstick?
I don't know. But I feel like if they were gonna do it, that's how Uncle Herb would be doing it, wouldn't he? Like
Who the
everybody.
hell's bogarting all that chapstick over there? Room 7. You bogarting your chapstick, Charlie?
Bob, your lips look very moisturized and your eyes look very glazed.
Barbara, you gonna keep that chapstick to yourself, or are we gonna get turned up tonight?
Also worth noting, cannabis oil, if you ingest it, swallow it, it works slower than if you let it saturate under your tongue.
Really?
Mhm.
Just a fan of it in all forms.
I'm a weed nerd. I love it. I love everything about what it does for me culturally, like what it does for me in terms of being able to meet so many different kinds of people, so many different kinds of backgrounds.
Yes.
It's pretty exciting. Like there's recent survey polled Americans. About 10% of Americans say they have consumed cannabis at least once in the last year. So, if anything,
What was the percentage?
10%.
Really?
So,
I think it would be higher almost.
well,
We'll get there.
It will. Yeah, right.
We'll
And
get
10%
there.
is really high.
Yeah, well, 10%. I mean,
Considering what it used to be.
Yeah, based on the current legalization. So too. Yeah.
You know what else I discovered? That the numbers in 1984. What do you think the percentage of THC is in the average?
I was having this
cannabis on the
conversation with
street.
somebody. I must say like 12%, right?
Okay, so these numbers, I can't swear by them. I wasn't like doing tests then or anything, but this is according to the DEA record. This is according to the DEA. On average, in 1994, they were picking up 4% THC
Holy shit!
bags off the street.
I'd have to smoke an ounce of weed in a half hour.
In like 2005 or something, it jumped to like 10%, and now
Now it's off the charts.
if it's like 16%, we're like, ugh, I guess.
I listened to a TED talk the other day about the current situation with the basically how high the THC is getting in these plants and the waxes and the concentrates and all
Well,
that
that's where
stuff in the
teaching
market.
medicine is so important. Teaching people how to turn it into food, because we can teach people how to really stretch that. Just a gram of strong cannabis, we can turn that into a couple 100 milligrams of edibles.
I had a question about when they go legal rec versus the recreational side of the dispensaries and what they're going to do with basically the percentages on the THC. I heard that a patient came in the other day and asked me if they were going to be able to buy anything higher than 10%. And the guy at the front counter said, no. I think rec, you're going to be paying so much higher to get anything higher than 10%. Is that true? I mean,
Well-
that's crazy. What are you going to buy? What's 10? I mean, what is it? What even is that?
Well, here's a couple things. One of them, if you're bringing in a newbie, right? If I'm bringing in a Canna tourist from Iowa, and this person's never consumed cannabis,
Okay.
And this person comes in,
Okay.
and it's a group of people, and somebody wants to be the hot dog.
I just got a big picture.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah. There's
Here's
some
another
guy
one.
from Iowa sitting in the parking lot of Jimmy's driveway with his face in the steering wheel of his Honda sedan.
And at 10%,
'Cause
he
he
is
just did a
still
dab.
rocked because he's
Yeah.
literally smoking. The last time he smoked was 1992, and this stuff's twice as strong and then some as what he had in the 90s. So
Sure, you got Mr. Nowicki, your science teacher, coming in here buying a dab rag.
right, but if you're somebody that's rolling in from Washington to visit,
Sure.
you're maybe a little bit more agitated by the THC selection, but generally it's a tourist friendly market. Like that's what it's intended to be. I know they talked about 10 milligrams edibles, like 10 milligram increments of edibles or something.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about one other thing about that legislation. So there was a lot of hubbub online about people saying, you can smoke weed in restaurants now. It was a
right in there.
legislation. There was weed legislation that said you could smoke weed in the restaurants.
I saw that.
And it's ridiculous. Here's the deal. So in the legislation, there's these cannabis social clubs. So a cannabis social club is going to be essentially like a country club.
Sure.
You could subscribe. You could be a member of many. You
Oh.
pay a fee to become a member, and you get to go to this
you guys
space.
doing today? Yeah, it's
It's fancy. Here's my ganja.
It's a little kosher kush, huh?
Yeah, except it can be any kind of social club you want, and it probably would be
cool.
modified based on the community you're in, right? So if you want a certain kind of vibe, you can pay to be a member in a certain community or the other community, and you can get a whole real diverse vibe and smoke with all kinds of cool people. It's
Sure.
really great.
That's
and
dope.
some social clubs are going to be built, different themes, in different veins, and with different objectives, live music and arcades and open mics and all kinds of craziness. And the thing about those are they cannot carry alcohol. Okay? They can't have alcohol. So if you had a badass social club, your social club will have killer food and some really cool like spritzer drinks, like spirited lemonade that doesn't have alcohol in it, but like carbonated or something. So you get like fancy cool little drinks
Infused?
that can be infused. But I'm talking about just generally like you're just drinking.
Sure.
So they got like some ginger ale, pineapple, cranberry juice, cool,
Sure.
like that's. So as you're feeling it, you've got something really popping and feels good to drink as well. And it can be infused, but the idea would be
We could
just
get like drinks that would pair with a good.
right. Or you can get
Sure.
food that would be infused, lightly infused, infused popcorn, things like that you can snack on. But then you would also just have a killer kitchen. Just when you're just hungry.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like when you're snacky, the last thing in the world you want is the stack of edible brownies in front of you. That's the last thing in the
That's
you
so
want
dangerous.
a kitchen.
I've been caught in that
that's clean.
circle.
Yeah.
You're just caught in a circle.
So here's the deal. So
I'm hungry.
if the
Hi,
law
I'm hungry.
says
Hi, I'm
in
hungry.
restaurants they can't smoke, and social clubs have restaurants, then you can't smoke in that restaurant. If they cut out the law that says you can smoke, so
a
like you
party.
can smoke, it doesn't mean that at TGI Fridays people are going to start smoking weed. It means if you have a social club and you're serving food, you also have the opportunity to, yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. So that's yeah. It's instead of people getting all bent out of shape about they're gonna smoke weed at my favorite diner. Like that's not what it's about.
You're there by choice. You know what you're there for.
Right. And just people have cigar clubs, right? They drink scotch, they smoke cigars.
Exactly.
I just don't think they serve food at those places, so it's not a smoking issue.
They serve food at the Stoner Olympics, but I still. Man, I
But that's the
pulled
food.
out of there in Florida to
Food's
Taco
killer.
Bell.
Food is going to be essential.
Yes.
So a good social
It
club,
has to be.
you have to have a good menu. So that's where like Krzyzewski's those menu items. She's just incredible, like magic.
Some of the pictures on her Instagram. Oh my God, that's artwork.
What is it? She chefs. It's SHECHEF
Let's go on Instagram. And check it out right now.
SKI.LC, I think is it. But she is. It's like if you're a food porn person, it's infused food porn for sure.
It is great.
Yeah, and it's delicious. Everybody, man,
Yeah,
she's got skills. They're multiplying.
you had it right.
Yeah, definitely check it out. And then it's one of the cooler things about being on the scene and being more vocal is that you do kind of meet people because you're brave enough to stand up and raise your hand.
That's why, again, I don't know if it was this show or the last show that we were talking. I really did want to know, like, being in politics, what did you choose first, to speak up about cannabis or to go into politics, and how did you mix the two? So
It was a really powerful thing for me in my life, and I think the more I felt like people were stigmatizing it, the more I felt like it was like being bullied. I don't know, in my mind, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
like you're
I could
picking
see
on
that.
this kid and he's just trying to help people, you know, like whatever. And so I would feel very indignant, like I would feel very agitated by that, and felt some sense of injustice, and that kind of inspired me. And at that point, there was all this talk about legalization. There was talk about, you know, gay marriage was a hot, really contentious thing at that time, and you know, that's something that's very close to in my family. like 4 family members in my family are members of the LGBTQ community.
Okay.
So that is something that's very near and dear to me, and those are family members that deserve to have partners and legal ties to them, and marriage, and all the trappings and sometimes curses that come with marriage. I've been divorced. I know you've been divorced.
Sure.
Everybody deserves to have a right to be married and divorced if they want to go through, if they want to suffer the agony of marriage.
Your choice.
And the work, it's work. If you want to do the work, cheers, good for you. So it's one of those things that was really, that kind of stuck in my craw, that my legislator in my community was a really anti a gay marriage, you know, real big into like, oh, we're going to have animals marrying each other then, and like,
Holy shit.
like just,
That
not
kind of-
animals and people, or sorry, yeah. So
Sure.
it was just, just kind of the ridiculous, you know, homophobia and transphobia, and a lot of, you know, even with the bathroom stuff, you know, I don't know, there's a lot of creepy men coming out of the woodwork, all these terrible people that have done all these terrible things. I haven't heard any of them dressed as women doing these things in bathrooms, and most of them are people that,
Yeah, you don't really hear that.
no, you don't, and most people just go to the bathroom in the bathroom traditionally.
It was pretty much just a video game guy thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that was really the only guy. You want to go outside and fight? That was really the only. I mean,
Well, it's pretty amazing now how far we've come in the conversation about cannabis, and how far
Yes.
the science has come.
yes.
You know, so a decade ago, you know, there was, I think the University of Mississippi for several decades was the only place capable of doing any cannabis cultivation research, and they were only researching a handful of strains. Less than like 3 or less, I believe. And so imagine doing all of your research about alcohol based on barefoot, you know, bubbly, whatever, drink, alcohol, wine, whatever, a bottle of Jack Daniels and Old Milwaukee. And you're doing all of your research on what alcohol can do on those 3 things. And that you're summating everything. Well, now the book is busted open, and people are creating strains and finding the science of, you know, like the Charlotte's Web, this breakthrough strain that allowed to initially start treating kids with epilepsy with THC nearly phased out entirely. It was really, that was like the big breakthrough, was the brothers from Colorado that generated that Charlotte's Web strain.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and so it's really kind of amazing. And without the legalization in Colorado, they don't do the research that leads to Charlotte's Web. You know, so legalization is instrumental in all of these breakthroughs happening. In Rockford, Illinois, they're using cannabis. They're putting it in Oreo cookies or at the facility, at this
Yeah.
Alzheimer's facility, because it's one of the
Keep on mom on,
conditions
idiot.
that are
Sure.
allowed to be treated is agitation from Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is 2 of my family members have fallen to it. So the agitation is a real thing. So when you take that off the table, and they're just forgetful but in a pleasant mood about it, you're
Yeah.
forgetful anyway.
Yeah.
At least you're not agitated.
Sure.
You know, you're like, oh, silly me.
Relieving some of their symptoms.
And
sure.
it is, and they're less combative with each other, and
Sure.
they're, you know, and it's not that anybody's trying to be. Imagine just gaps in your brain, like gaps of your timeline, and that is naturally going to agitate somebody. If you make them feel like maybe they're just stoned, then I mean, do you feel that bent out of shape about the fact that there's gaps in your day if you're a little elevated on cannabis? Not as much. You're not as much, like, you know, and so it makes them better patients. It makes them, it improves their quality of life significantly, because part of the agitation of Alzheimer's are these people have mini strokes, which makes their condition so much worse and impairs their ability to walk faster, impairs all these, it damages them so much further. So when you take this strong agitation and kind of paranoia, and you really give them, you know, indicas and stuff that calm them and relax them and make them laugh, and that's hugely impactful. Not just their quality of life. They'll eat now, because if you know anybody with Alzheimer's, they don't eat. They stop eating. Like they lose an appetite. None of them turn down Oreos, apparently. Nobody turns down an Oreo.
Who can turn down an Oreo?
So they eat one Oreo, and then a little while later, Mima is ready to have some dinner.
That's fantastic.
And it makes it easier for the staff, and it makes it easier.
That's what I was going to say. The caretakers have to.
Their quality of life
benefits
is better.
all around.
Yeah, truly, and the family, because you would rather see Grandma a little baked than Grandma yelling, looking out the window, crying about how her father just passed away.
I have a friend who experiences this daily.
Mm-hmm.
They take care of their dad, Jenny's dad, and they experience this daily. And if it wasn't for cannabis, I could only imagine how their day would go.
It's a game changer. It's a real game changer. And part of this game changing is, somebody early on, there are people like us that came along decades before us that went, okay, Grandpa, try this. Just trying it, thinking, hey, it calms me down. Maybe it'll calm Grandpa down. Yeah. And I'm sure underground there was a lot of self-medicating happening.
My grandfather smoked. I saw my grandmother smoke a fat joint with a bunch of Jamaican dudes at a Hawaiian luau. It was dope.
My grandmother passed away before I was born, but she kept it in a coffee jar and called it her medicine.
I walked around the car and there was a bunch of dude with dreads. I was like 7 years old.
And how old was he at the time?
My grandpa was probably 70, 75.
Okay.
Standing in a group of these dudes that were there to play. They were the band. My aunt had a Hawaiian luau. These guys were awesome. And I walk around the corner and there was a big box truck and there's my grandpa standing there in between them with a joint that to me as a kid looked like a cigar. It was huge. They were... Anyway, not to cut you off, but my grandpa was a smoker.
That's crazy. That's a crazy mental image. That's delightful.
It stuck with me when I was a little kid because I was like, Grandpa, all right, cool, man. I mean, in my mind, I thought, well, that's what you're supposed to do with a bunch of Jamaican dudes, right? I mean, that only seemed right to me.
I saw a Bob Marley video, Dad. Grandpa, I know what's up. It's all good.
I was about to go hang with him. Smelled delicious. With that being said, I mean, this is only perfect that we play this right here. I mean, jeez. All right, let's smoke. That was perfect timing. I didn't even plan that. Grandpa, what are you doing over there?
Vexation of spirit is a waste of time. Negative thinking, don't you waste your thoughts. Verbal conflict is a waste of word. Physical
All right, we'll just come back. Apparently doesn't want to play that song. All right, so we're going to go out on this. Did we play Stay High?
We did.
Right? We did. That was a great song.
I do want to say I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come in. And
well, you know what? Thank you.
Such a fun, cool little thing to do. And sorry I was a little too chatty.
I love that you came on the show and talked. Listen, I was telling you earlier, it's so much better than me sitting here and just having just this strange conversation that most of them watch me have with myself on a weekly basis. So having you here is awesome. You're such a professional. So thank you for coming over and being one of the people to come on the show. There's a couple of people that have come on the show who are like, I'm not sure if I really want to come on the show and talk about cannabis live on YouTube. Listen, we're about to be legal. There's nothing to be ashamed of. If you have your card and you're in Chicago and you're ready for what's about to happen, just come on the show and we'll talk about it together. So thank you for coming on that show and for being part of the Canner Show. And you should do a podcast. I'd like to have you on again.
I'd love to come back.
It'll be awesome to have you here.
Great.
Maybe next time Javi will stop messing with the cords. You guys, I told you, he just woke up again. He snuck out of the room and he's yanking on cords back there. Don't do it anymore, Javi. Next time I'll let you actually see him. I'm going to play this song, and it's going to play all the way because I wrote a strongly worded letter to Mr. YouTubes. I said, Mr. YouTube, so I got to send this to somebody. So let me play it. And he agreed. So we're going to smoke again. We'll play this song. We'll smoke. We could smoke after their show. But again, thank you for coming on and watching me be a weirdo here on my show.
It's, dude, you don't even know. Like, I haven't been on the air. I'm sorry, I got my mic shut down. I haven't been on the air in, I don't know, since 2007.
Well, you're great.
And I was on for 7 years, and I haven't been on since 2007. So it's fun to be back in front of a microphone.
You have a good radio voice.
Thanks for giving me an excuse to do it.
It was funny to see your face when I said podcaster. You could see that you're a true radio professional when I said podcaster, and she was like, radio. I was like, well, you know.
Here's what's going to happen, though. I have a handful of friends, a couple that have podcasts and a couple that want to have podcasts that have asked me for a very long time to either help them or be on their podcast. Yeah. And you're the first person that I agreed to do because it's like my baby project. Like you're in my sweet spot.
Good.
I am going to catch a little heat for it, but it was well worth it.
You know what? You guys are welcome on the show too. You guys come on too, and we'll all talk. And then I'll come on your show, and then we'll keep building this together. So thank you. I hope you come back on again next week or a couple weeks. There's a couple more people coming on the show. Catman, try to get Urban Stoner Essentials. What's up, Felice? I'm gonna try to get her over here, get her on the show. Jack, a couple other vendors that I met that are really dope. A couple of CBD companies, a couple of vape shops. They're coming on the show, so it'll be great. We're moving forward in Chicago. I am going to rearrange the studio in the next couple of weeks. Like I said, I wasn't going to come on today, but we spoke, and I thought, let's do a podcast. I'm going to really open it up and hear some more people could come on the show. We're getting a couple more microphones, a couple more cameras. So thank you for being part of today.
Oh, it's pretty sweet. It's a great layout. It's fun to be here.
They said I should do a podcast.
You should do a podcast.
Listen, I think I'm gonna. I wasn't sure if I was gonna call it the Canna Show or just.
You should call it the Canna Show / you should do a podcast.
Yeah. Or Fun with Ray. Fun with Ray was already taken.
I don't want to know what page that goes to, but I'm sure it's something with a balloon.
I should go buy that really quick.
Some guy in a bikini with a balloon.
I need to go buy that really
I don't want
fast.
Fun with Ray.
I already bought the Canna Show, and you should do a podcast. I'm going to buy Fun with Ray right now. So again, if you have your card and if you don't have your card, I suggest you take your medication tonight. Thank you for watching. And again, don't let somebody tell you that you shouldn't take your medication, or hey, that medication is costing too much, or you're spending too much time going to get medication. It's medication.
Can I say one thing before you let go?
Yes.
The argument for the card. So right now, people are trying to having this existential crisis of whether or not I should keep my card, get my card. Should I get my card? Should I quit my card? Okay. Here's my reasoning for keeping the card.
Yes.
So we're planning a trip down to Puerto Rico, right? So I call down to Puerto Rico's dispensary and I say, hey, I'm an Illinois cannabis card holder. Will my cannabis card be honored in Puerto Rico? And they say, absolutely. Then I call around to a handful of other states that don't have recreational legalization and hear from each dispensary that it is okay as long as I am a medical cannabis card holder. So yeah, you can grow your own plants, and that's cool. But you also, if you're a traveler, you have a lot more freedom, a lot more leeway, and a lot more flexibility. So that is not to be underrated either.
Get your medication.
And not just that, but in the bill, it's also written that the recreational amounts should not impact the allotted amount for medication.
I love that. We'll talk next time you come on. We'll talk more about what's going into that, what went into that bill, because you seem to know more than most about it. So we'll pick your brain some more on the next show.
I'll do my best.
It'll be awesome. So again, thank you guys for sticking around and watching, and take your medication. Don't let them tell you that you're not supposed to, because you are supposed to.
I wanna be normal, I wanna be sane. I wanna look at you and feel something other than pain. I need shelter, safe haven. I want a quiet place to go and wait out the rain. I want a woman, I want a job. I got an itch coming on to get in trouble again. I wanna wake up and feel love. Will you look me in the eyes, tell me I'm not dying? I'm
Yes, you did.